Originally, I wanted to do a new Recreating Half-Life 2 beta series for this year. It had been a while, so I thought why not? This time, I thought rather than going for newer projects, we'd take a look at some old forgotten ones. I had chosen three different mods. First would be Insolence, then Terminus, and the third one, well, that's a surprise I'll tell you at the end. So when I downloaded an early development build of Insolence, I thought, well, it's a development build, how incomplete could it be? And then I played it. But not all of it was like this. It was either maps with 2 billion errors or maps that were just ported from the leak. After checking Insolence out for a while, I felt that while it was interesting, it wasn't as interesting to warrant its own video. The ported maps just had a bunch of added props and models in them, and that was that. Then I booted up Terminus. Now Terminus looked a little more promising. It too had a development build, but some of its maps were unique and some ideas were interesting. But at the end, it again didn't interest me enough to the point where I could do a full video on it. Insolence was a mod that was being worked on in the early 2010s, and I guess stopped development around 2014. Same with Terminus that stopped development in 2015. As unfortunate as it is, that's the way most beta mods go in the end. The modder or modders lose interest and move on or just get busy with stuff in life. But what's this video about then? Well, I thought I had to make something that would talk about historical mods that were beta themed or attempted to make a beta campaign, so why not take a quick gander at some of them? For starters, the Thing can be classified as the first mod ever made on the leaked engine before Half-Life 2 even came out. Also around this time was when Gary Newman had ideas to make a mod that would be a sandbox of sort. After he played a bunch of JB mod, which might be the first ever mod for retail Half-Life 2, Gary's inspiration for a mod sprung into place, and Gary's mod was created. But how do we find the first ever beta themed mod? Thanks to Vitoy's post on Half-Life 2 beta forums, there's a list we can go through and check them out. Now, I can't say that this is a super complete list, but it is very comprehensive for our needs. Let's split the categories into two: beta mods on the leaked engine and beta mods on the retail engine. One of the earliest beta mods on the leaked engine was Half-Life 2 Lost from 2004. Now keep in mind, most of these mods have been lost to time as their download links do not work anymore. There might be backup links somewhere, but I didn't manage to find any. So we'll be mostly going off of screenshots and, in some cases, descriptions. Half-Life 2 Lost just looks like a mod with a bunch of maps in rough shape. The screenshots aren't much help either. It does feature the Hydra, old prison maps, and some Highway 17 maps. The mod would cease production around 2009. In 2006, a mod was shared on the internet created by Team Gaben. I actually remember years ago reading up about this mod, and apparently it was a big deal back then because it actually looked quite promising as they had implemented or rather reactivated a bloom shader plus some other weird ones as well. There was maybe multiplayer too, along with a bunch of leaked maps that were fixed up. The mod was quite atmospheric for its time, showing heavy saturated colors in some of the maps. Team Gaben's mod would cease development around 2010. Around 2008, Vitoy himself would start working on an air exchange mod on the leaked engine. After almost a decade, in 2018, Vitoy would pick up the project again and release the air exchange mod publicly. This is playable in the mega build of the beta. Vitoy would also work on another mod called the City 17 mod, which would take place in the starting chapters of the game in City 17. Development started in 2015 and was paused in 2017. An incomplete build of the mod can be played in the mega build. The Axle project was another mod that started development in the late 2000s and was released in October of 2010. The mod focuses on the 2002 and the 2003 maps, mostly fixing them up with a little bit of polish, and they were playable. Coming to the modern day and age, we have the 2003 map pack by XJR 9000. XJR fixed a lot of the 2003 maps, mainly the missing textures and models, and added level transitions to the map pack as well. This would allow the player to experience the 2003 story maps from start to finish, albeit in a little bit of a rough fashion. This map pack was released in November of 2018. Toast the Fox would release the E3 2002 map pack in 2021. This would have all the E3 2002 maps that Valve was supposed to show off at that year's event but didn't. It also contained some early variations of these E3 maps as well, which showcased how the levels changed over time. Then there were two mods by Wolfclock. The first one, Vertigo, came out in 2021 and would feature levels taking place in the Vertigo chapter of the original storyline. The second one is the 2001 City 17 map pack, which would feature some of the early City 17 maps along with Eli's Lab and the canals. Lastly, we have the 2002 edition by Arthur Asta 96. This is an ongoing project which is reworking the 2002 maps and stitching them together to form a proper campaign that players can go through from start to finish. While technically this mod does have a start and a finish, Arthur is adding in new maps that are missing from the middle of the game. Now, these were all mods that run with the leaked engine, the 2003 engine, or the LeakNet engine, whatever you want to call it. There are a few more, but I think these were the most interesting one, or at least the ones I know more about. Next, we'll be looking at some mods that ran on the retail source engine that tried to recreate the beta. One of the earliest ones is E3 2003 from 2005. There aren't any screenshots, so from the description, it was basically a mod that would showcase the E3 maps. Even though this mod never released and would be cancelled in 2008, you can still play the E3 2003 maps in the Mega Build. I'm not entirely sure who put together that map pack or mod. Then in 2005, a mod by the name of Half-Life 177 would appear. This mod, you might know better as its more recent name, Missing Information. MI was a very ambitious mod. It had a great team behind it and its maps were absolutely fantastic, filled with the atmosphere that the original beta concept demanded. Development would continue all the way to 2019 when they were trying to get the mod posted on Steam, but their request was denied due to some problems with the mod's executable and thus the mod remains in stasis ever since. The unannounced cancellation of this mod was very heartbreaking for most. It was supposed to be released in April 2019, but that would never happen. Then, a little old YouTuber by the name of Radiation Hazard would spring up in early 2020, and seeing this mod's cancellation news would inspire him to cover the overall topic of the beta and its cut content. In between these years of missing information, there were many others that would pop up too, but few would be completed. Two of these completed ones were the Vertigo mod from 2008 and the Depot mod from 2013. Both of these are basically what their name suggests. They take place in the maps taking place in that chapter. Then, in 2010, a project would start up that is still being worked on till this day, a little old mod by the name of Dark Interval. DI is one of the best beta recreation mods out there right now. Its level of originality and quality is only matched by Raising the Bar Redux and nothing else. It has been a while since an update came from their team, but last where they left off was in the Wasteland chapters. Hopefully we'll be seeing the Antline Caves or Ravenholm in a new update soon. DI would go through a revamp sometime in its development, and an offshoot called Dark Interval Old Build mod would be released in 2021, which would contain older maps from Dark Interval. The modder behind Old Build mod, Psilocybillum, would release a now well-known mod called Cremation in 2015. The art style and atmosphere presented in Cremation would hook players, and it would also release critical acclaim from the community. As of this date, he's working on a Cremation 2.0, and as Silo has stated, development is slow and a release date is 5 years down the line at max. Around 2012, another ambitious mod would spring up by the name of Raising the Bar. Raising the Bar was very ahead of its time with fantastic original models, textures, and overall, it had captured the concept of the beta very accurately. Along with Dark Interval, this was one of the first mods to not rely too much on the leaked maps, but rather create their own. However, in 2016, it would be announced that due to inactivity by the team, no work was being done and the mod was permanently shelved. It wouldn't be until 2 years later in 2018 when Kralik would pick up the pieces and launch development on Raising the Bar Redux. Raising the Bar Redux is currently the biggest beta-themed mods out there, with the team making major strides in the past 4 to 6 years. Story-wise, they've covered up chapters till Ravenholm and now are in process of making the Depot chapter. They've also released a spin-off by the name of Raising the Bar Salvation, in which you play as Father Gregory in Ravenholm, and another Portal-themed spin-off is coming soon as well. At the pace they're going, RTBR might be the first ever proper mod to transcend the development hell and become a proper Half-Life game that takes place in the beta universe. Now, I'm gonna skip over a lot of these mods because as far as I can tell, most of them never went past the concept art stages or didn't have much going on with them. So in this last quarter of the video, I'm gonna talk about some mods that I've either personally played or know about in detail. Build 2001 was a mod similar to Cremation. It was short, but damn was it packed with amazing maps. Like Cremation, it had a very strong emphasis on its atmosphere. The mod was able to instill this depressing mood that a lot of us like in these kind of mods. But then we have mods like Coterminous. This one is a unique mod in a sense that it mixes the retail game with the beta concepts. The mishmash of both worlds provide this special experience where things seem familiar, but also new at the same time. You'd have pre-existing maps from the retail game, but then it would open up to new maps that were inspired from the beta. Although not specifically cancelled, it has been 2 years since a new update came out of this project, but still, it's a must-play experience for all beta fans. Project Urban Conflict is a cancelled mod that I grieve till this day. It was supposed to be a mod for Half-Life 1, but basically taking place in the beta universe. The Gold Source aesthetics gave it such an amazing and old-school look that suited the history of the beta itself. Unfortunately, its development ceased in 2020. Don't Drink the Water is the most different kind of mod on this list. It is a fixed camera mod that takes place in the beta universe. The last demo for it was released in 2022 and the last update in 2023. Basically, it's Half-Life 2 beta but running on the Gold Source engine with gameplay taken from the old school Resident Evil games. Although this mod has also been silent for a while, I really hope we do get some sort of update soon. Remnants is a very recent mod that's been put on hold. Rather than making a new campaign, this mod planned to upgrade the existing maps to a more modern standard. The current available media for it do represent that. Unfortunately, no public release happened and it is unsure when will development resume again. And lastly, Seavox, the developer behind Dark Interval, released the 2003 storyline port. This basically takes the 2003 map pack by XJR and ports it to run on the modern Source engine. Now, this isn't a complete list of every single beta mod ever made, but it was supposed to be a showcase of some of the more prominent ones. I'll leave a link in the description to the list of mods that I referenced to in the video. Now, if you have a keen eye or know about these kind of mods, you might realize that I missed 2 very specific and infamous mods from this list. That is because, in the coming weeks, I will be producing a Rad Has special series consisting of 3 episodes: Cinematic Mod, Build 2046, and Der Schwarzenebel. Both Build 2046 and DSN had lost maps and builds, but I spent 2 days straight collecting them and will begin production on this Rad Has special series at the end of the month. Now coming back to the topic at hand, beta mods are a world of their own, with its own legends, stories, dramas, and achievements. While the beta mod curse is very real, that most beta mods get cancelled, we still saw a lot of great releases over the years. With projects like RTBR and Dark Interval still in development, the beta dream is still very much alive and well. And that's pretty much it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and a big thanks to these benefactors for supporting the channel: Taylor, Wooflo, Scooms, Aoi, Nicholas Go, Imperial Embers, Unusual, T-Boy301, Tombstone, Jack5282, Taiwanesium, Bubba, Quiltman, 501st Clone Boy, Interloper CS, TTG, Robocop, Noel, Nobody Important, Franco Senlehi, Justin Imbergriff, Tedosaur, Otakan Nachos, Lambdere, Roadkill, Walter, Hobgobbies, NoClick, Geode, Fisher Grice, Hawkassault, Mr. Spabon, Jelen, A Normal Street Lamp, Tiervar Droid, and Bipolit. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.